All right, welcome to Reso Biz. Did you know that it is very common in dobros, for whatever reason, to find spiders in it? Yeah, spiders. Different kinds of spiders. So the question today is, what kind of spider do you have in your dobro? Let's get to it.
Hi, I'm Byrl with Byrl Guitars, and this is Reso Biz, where everything is greater with a resonator.
For a square neck guitar, what kind of spider in it makes a huge difference. And I want to show you the difference in some of the sounds. And so I have here a collection of spiders I've taken out of stuff and some spiders that are brand new. And so I want to talk about spiders today, and we'll see some of the differences. And I want to see also, well, I guess all sorts of differences. That's what we're going to look at. And maybe talk about what makes some good better than others. And I will say, I'm touching on something that's a little deeper and bigger than I know. All I know is I can show you the difference. I can't explain exactly how it is. It has to be the alloy or something that these things are made out of. But it's very interesting the way these work, the way they're made, what's good and what's bad. Just want to kind of take time in this video just to go over all this stuff. So let me get this organized and then we'll straighten this out. So what inspired this video, had a customer come in, a nice lady, retired, and just she goes out and does camping, and she's got a dobro, and she'd like to she's learning it, but she wants to set it up better, get more volume out of it. And so I said, hey, come to the shop and we'll do a setup on it. And she brought it in, we're working on it, and I get into it, and I take this spider out of it, and I look at it, and I'm thinking, this is a really nice looking spider. I mean, it's very well, probably one of the cleanest, smoothest, I don't think it's machined, but well molded spider that I've ever seen. Then you have probably the weirdest, for sure, one I've ever seen. And, you know, I guess I say weird because it's so thin, and it's the only one I've ever seen like that. But, I mean, if they were all like this, maybe I'd call all the others weird. I don't know. It's got a different sound to it. And then you have what's the most common, or maybe I would say, I think one of the better spiders you can have, but it's got all these, you know, from the mold, it just has all these pits and stuff, and you think, ugh, I don't. If you're looking at it, it's not the most appealing spider out there by a long shot. And then there's these kind of they just feel like clunkers to me. But anyhow, I took this spider, and as I do with a lot of them, and I got me a little notch in my pencil here, and then I'll tap on it. And I was showing the customer the sound of it, and I was a little bit surprised. Let me show you this. This comes out of one of these is out of a Regal. I hope you can hear that. There's a lot more tone in that. Just now stopped vibrating. Go back to this one. Let me turn it. Let's see. Let's try that. Try to do them all the same too. I put them on this middle one. I have it kind of the saddle slots turn the same way. Dead. And so when I hit this thing, the customer that was here heard it, and she's like, okay, you know, there's a bell sound. And then I got a number 14 spider bridge out. There we go. And there, I heard the tone stop. So when I hit it, she was excited and started clapping her hands because she could hear the difference in what was in her dobro and what I was getting ready to put in there. And I don't even know that she understood fully what that did for her, other than it made a brighter sound. I don't know which one it was I hit when I might have already sold it, but it had a very loud sound. The sustain was totally better. and it had a higher, kind of a brighter sound to it. All these things make a difference in the dobro, but I think the biggest thing that makes a difference that I want to hear is a sustain. If you hit it and it clunks and doesn't do anything, well then you might as well just get a piece of wood and stick in there. You want this transferring of the sound back and forth kind of, and just have a long, that's what a resonator does. I mean, it should sustain. We actually like that in all our instruments, a bit of sustain, but a resonator instrument, a resonator guitar should sustain really good. And so what spider you have makes quite the difference in a lot of that sustain. I may have a spider here that I have some raw ones, and you can see here this part's not even got the slot cut out, and it's got a little imperfection right here. But I cut one out and I got it wrong when I cut it, and the screw actually will slip down inside of it, and I thought, well, that's not the way it's supposed to be, but I tried it, just wanted to see what it would do. For whatever reason, that when the screw goes down inside of the spider, or this spider, it kills it. And so I had to use a different spider. I put a different spider, and there was the life of that guitar. It blew my mind to a certain degree. It just totally surprised me. I had this thing all cleaned up. This was a raw one, and I pretty much set it up myself, and usually I love the sound of them, but this thing was, it just killed it. And that's the way these spiders actually are. The screw, the set screw, which I don't have one, I just have a Phillips right here, but the screw goes in here, and then it goes clear down inside and recesses inside of the, I'll have to get one, a screw. But on these number 14 spiders, it sets on top. I don't know what difference this makes, but I've put it like that. I don't know if you can see that from the camera angle I've got, but I'm weighing some of these, and that's, I think, my lightest one, and it's coming in at 4 ounces. Very thin, these crossbars that come across here, really very thin. The legs that come out, and then they got these round pads. It has been leveled, you can see that, and that's a good thing. That was the interesting thing about this. As nice as it's made, it is very close to level, but it had never been leveled either. And this come out of a Recording King, and I'll say this too about the Recording King. When I opened it up, I expected to find a solid wood sound well, kind of like in the old Dobros, and it was not that way. It was actually it was I think it was open and it had posts in it. I didn't know they did that. But when I got done with that guitar, I wished I'd videoed it. When I got done with that guitar, it was much bigger by far than it was before, and I was a little bit surprised how much sound came out of it. That Recording King, set up properly, had quite the volume to it. I was very impressed for the price and everything at the sound of that guitar. I liked it. Let's see. Oh, I want to do a test on the sound. And what I am going to do is every one of these, I'm going to try to keep it in the middle of that cross brace. I'm going to have this at this angle here, and I'll hit this leg on everyone. Try to get the same sound. I think it could do better than that. Nope, maybe not. Here's the other thing I'm going to do. I'll tap it and throw it on the ground. I'm going to tap it, and I'll try to count the time it rings, because that's important. That sustain, I think, is my favorite concern, or biggest concern. And if it goes back and hits my hand, it messes it up. Let me try it again. I just feel like I can get a better sound out of it than that. I can't. That's it. That's the sound. Done. I couldn't even get the thoughts together to count. All right. So there's that one. Let's do this one. This is that nice, really nice, well molded one. Actually, I've seen a shear horn. The shear horn that he's got the company that has building his guitars now, they're making a nice, well trimmed up cones or spiders, and they seem very nice. And I didn't do all this testing on them, but they're well made. But you can't. No, I can't get them. It's just for his guitars. Let's try this here. 2, 4, 5, 6. Done. There's a sound of that. Here's come out of a Regal. Our weight is 5'9". This one is 4'7". So lighter weight. Actually, this is closer to the number 14 Spider Bridge. I expected this to be really well. I really did. I was a little surprised. So listen to this. This is out of a Regal. 3, 4, 6, 8, 7. It's weighing in at 5.9. I have another one of these that is exactly 6. So this one is 6 ounces. This is the heaviest one I think I have. 2, 3, 5. It might have been 6. It might have still been. I think I could still hear it. So this one was 7. It's a little lighter. This is an ounce heavier. It died off quicker. Let me do this one more time. I'll try to count it out. That's the clunk. This is terrible. Here's one. This is raw. This hasn't been trimmed up. This is heavy for a number 14, so 4.6. And let's see what we get here. 3, 4, 5, 9. I gotta count to 9. Now I did do this where I tapped it and I touched my phone and timed it, and I was getting like real. I mean, I'm counting a little fast. I think I was getting 4s with the whatever these were. This thing, I didn't even have time to touch it to time it. These I think I was getting to 4, and the spiders some of these I was getting like generally around 8. I had one that hit 12. When I say 12, I mean seconds. This is a chunky monkey because it hasn't been cleaned up or anything. Here's this is a nice one. It's been leveled. You see how it's sanded on the edges? And likely if I have a piece of granite somewhere, I put it on glass, and then you just tap the legs on it to see if any of them rattle, or is it touching solid on a flat surface all the way around. So this is a cleaned up level spider. Now I would still test it if I was putting it in a guitar. Let's see what we got here. I still hear it. I stopped counting at 12. Now it may not be a super loud one, but the sustain is there. Try it again. 3, 4, 8, 9, 11, 12. Now, I stopped at 18. I swear as I brought it back to me, I could still kind of hear it. That's the difference. That's why I'm doing this video. The sustain on a number 14 Spider Bridge is not even or these others are not even comparable, especially this out of those Regals. And I don't know, so you can't look at it. You can't look at it and say, look how nice and smooth. Oh, that's got to be it. No, I would guess this one was nice, although it wasn't leveled on the bottom, and I did check it on the window, and it's got a leg that's up and rattling. But I would think this would be better. When I look at it, it's actually got a nice taper. It's kind of fat here. Fatter, actually, now that I look at it. It's fatter here and it tapers down nice, and they got a little bend, so it's raised up a little bit. But what I did notice, and I don't know if you can see it, is we're pretty chunky in here. And it's pretty thick through here. And this piece here is coming up higher on the saddle, or the saddle slot, this brace that holds it. So the thickness of this aluminum, I almost said lead. I mean, I guess I think of it as lead. But the thickness of this is a lot more than this one. The interesting thing is you say, oh, so thinner's better. No, I can't even count this off, really. This thing is not. I don't know. I don't even know where I got that. But that thing's a dead piece of a junk, really. I just keep it around because it's interesting. Number 14. I really think so. What makes it? I think the size makes it right. But I also think it's maybe the alloy of aluminum. Possibly, definitely. This has almost a galvanized look to it. Whereas these have a better sustain, but they're rougher. And they're not quite the same. I don't know what the difference is. I really don't. I'm just saying, when you get this come out of my old Regal, this come out of a Rule King, Ranch King. It came out of Recording King, and then this is the number 14 Spider that you'll get out of the. I get them from Byrl. I think there was other people selling these molds. There's a Repogal. I wish I could do that one. I've used those a couple times, and in the end, I like this better. But I never used to look at them so close, weigh them, or any of that stuff. But I'm thinking I'd like to get one just to see the difference in a Repogal. But when I did this with this lady, and I tapped on that, and that thing was so dead, and then I tapped on one of these, and the sound just kept carrying, and it was so bright and so loud. And she was so excited. I thought, you know what? I need to do a video on it. So here's what you got. Lighter does not necessarily mean better. Heavier doesn't necessarily mean. Let's see. Is this the heaviest? No, this is close to. That's the crazy thing about it. It's 2 ounces, 2 ounces, 2 to 3 ounces heavier than the number 14. And then we have these. I got a 6 ounce and the lighter one of these two. These are both the same company here. They got the same weird. I mean, they're definitely the same. I have one that's lighter than the other, and the lighter one of these has better sustain. So we have a 5.9. There it is. And then we have a 6. And this one is the better sound, and it sustains longer. So what kind of spider do you have in your instrument? Is it helping you, or is it holding you back? Because here's the truth of it. I get a little bit more volume. Of course, a good setup will help you with that too. I get more volume, and I get better sustain. And that's what you want. You want to be able to hit your note, and that's kind of the sound of a dobra. But you don't want to hit your note and just go, you hit a whatever note, and don't. And it sounds like you've got 6-year-old strings on your instrument. So we want to have fresh strings. You want a good setup, but you want to make sure you got a good spider. And should do another video on a cone. Oh my goodness! But I don't have junk cones. So if you got a junk cone you want to mail it to me, I'll take it. And we're gonna make a video on it. I've seen quite a few, but a lot of times, I don't know, they're interesting, so customers will take them back with them. But I don't have I have a few cones, but I don't have enough to do a good video on yet. So let me collect that. Maybe we'll see what we can do with that. All right. I think that's all I know to tell you. I hope the video helped you. And we'll see you next week, I hope. I had a whole month out there for a little bit. The holidays got crazy. We got under the weather. The whole family was ugh. Anyhow, hopefully we can stay consistent. I've got wonderful things. By the way, Happy New Year. I have wonderful things for this year that I'm wanting to do. I'm very excited about it. I want to build a guitar like you haven't seen before. I haven't seen before. See you next week. Broke the... What you can't see is my customer's holding my camera. I about dropped that crazy thing on his dobro. Whew!
No blood, no foul.